Hello students, welcome to today's video lesson. Today we shall discuss how to write stories. We all read stories or like hearing them. Stories can be based on real events or can be imaginary or fictional. Storytelling has been a part of all our childhood. We have all heard of some story or the other while we were younger. Today, we shall learn how to write stories. Before we begin with the format and the features, let us start with the question. What is a short story? A short story is a written piece of fictional work. It may also be non-fictional work based on real events or experiences. Story writing generally means short story writing. Short stories are read in one sitting. Thus, they are small and precise. The main features of a short story are theme, character, setting, plot. The theme is the central idea of the story. The story is based around this idea. The character takes part in the story to make the story seem alive. There may be a single character or multiple characters in a story. However, in short stories, we usually have less characters. Next, we have the setting. It is the time frame and the place. It informs the readers when and where the story is set. This description helps the readers to get interested in the story. Our last feature is the plot. It is the main story, which is divided into three parts: beginning, middle, and end. A coherent link should exist between the three parts so that the story proceeds smoothly. After all these have been kept in mind, remember to add a title to your story. Let us go through an example. The squirrel without a tail. Once, a squirrel got caught in a trap set up by a young boy. The squirrel struggled for long hours to escape from the trap and be free again. The squirrel tried for a while and finally understood that if it wanted to be free again, it had to sacrifice its tail. So it freed itself by giving one last tug. In the process, it also lost its tail. Now, losing its tail was a big thing for a squirrel. For days, it felt embarrassed as it looked different than the other squirrel. It did not go out to meet its friends anymore. One day, the squirrel's best friend, a little hummingbird, visited his house. The young hummingbird had missed its friend. On hearing the squirrel's story, the hummingbird assured that losing a tail was not a big deal at all. It was like getting rid of an extra weight off one's body. It also advised the squirrel to accept its difference and be proud of it, as it was how it had managed to survive a risky situation like a trap. Notice that the short story is kept precise and clear. The language is not too difficult either. The plot revolves around a theme, to accept one's physical appearance as it is. The story also has two characters, the squirrel and the hummingbird. Let us look at another example of a story. Question: write a short story with the beginning lines. One day, a boy was going to school. Suddenly, he saw smoke. It was coming out of a house. He went in and saw the house on fire. A schoolboy and fire. One day, a boy was going to school. Suddenly, he saw smoke. It was coming out of a house. He went in and saw the house on fire. There was nobody else near the fire. Only a few people were running to and fro. They were crying bitterly. The house was burning very fiercely. It was built with tin sheet and wooden structure. The problem was that there was no nearby source of water. The people of the house were in tears while they watched helplessly. The neighbors came ahead to help as they collected water from a distant source. They brought water in drums, pails, buckets. It took a long time to extinguish the fire. Though the fire was extinguished, no valuable things could be saved from the fire. The house was completely reduced to ash and ruins. In some days, many people came forward to help them. Some gave bamboos, some gave wood, some gave money, some gave food and clothes. So the family built a house once again and tried to begin a new life. Let us go through one last example. Read the following points and rearrange them to form a story. A dog stole a piece of meat from a shop. He ran away from the shop. He tried to cross a bridge to reach the other side. While crossing, he saw his reflection in the stream. Thinking his reflection to be another dog with a meat piece, he barked. He wanted the other dog's meat piece too. It was actually his reflection. He lost his piece of meat as it fell into the stream. The foolish dog. There had been a greedy dog. One day, he stole a piece of meat from a meat shop. Taking it in his mouth, he started to run away from the place. He was looking for a suitable place to eat the piece. While he was running with it, on the way he had to cross a bridge over a small stream. While walking on the bridge, he saw his own reflection in the water below. He thought that it was another dog with another piece of meat in its mouth. So he opened his mouth to bark. Alas, his piece of meat fell from his mouth into the stream below, and he was disappointed. He walked away feeling foolish and sad. Remember to read your story after writing it. Check for grammatical errors, spelling and punctuation mistakes, and other mistakes in the plot. Practice writing stories and also read more and more short stories to develop your writing. That's all for today's video lesson. We hope this video lesson helps you. See you soon.